Hello, hello, my beautiful, beautiful students. How are you today? I hope that you are pretty fine. And well, let's start with this exercise that we have for you today. Thursday. Oh my goodness. Tell me, do you have some questions? Do you have some situation related to the past topics? They are not too difficult, right? Well, remember, if you have any situation, any question, let me know and I'm going to be helping you. Okay, yesterday, yes, I know. We were practicing a lot the verbs in past and in present. And that's cool and that's great, excellent. But now we are going to continue with other situations that are going to be a kind of pretty interesting for us. Yes, we are going to continue with certain words that are going to be pretty important in the context that we are going to be using them. Really? Yes. For that reason, we are going to continue with this. Let me show you my presentation in order to continue with that, okay? And for that reason, here we go. Excellent. Here we are. What's going on here? Excellent. It is bigger. It is bigger. Aquí está. Aquí está. Vamos hasta acá, chavos. Excellent. No, it is the beginner. Something is happening with my presentation. Excellent. It was the other one. You're not beginner. Come on. Okay, very good. Let's continue with this that I have here for you, the intermediate level and the topics for this week. Woohoo! Okay, here we go, handsomes. Intermediate. Ta -ta 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 -ta. Great to see you as always. One more time. Very good. Let me show you this that I have here for you. Hello there. One more time. Cool and awesome. Okay, guys. Yesterday we were talking about this so and such. Dijimos que no iba a ser such, ¿no? So and such. Como si fuera una A. Such. So and such. And we were talking about the differences that we were going to be having between using so and using such. We were during the whole hour talking about this, doing some exercises and so on. And we were having some examples, no? Remember that so is going to be used before an adjective, adverbs, much, many, few, little. And such is going to be used before an adjective with a noun, okay, or with the an and the noun, two things together, and with so, well, only one thing before him, no, or before it. We were talking about this. We are going to be using so with adjectives and such with noun phrases. Jack is so nice. The pizza is so delicious. Jack is such a nice guy. This is such delicious pizza. With such, remember, adjective and noun, and with so, just the adjective. So it's like more relaxed. We were talking about the differences between these, so and such, even in Spanish, if you were having more doubts. But now let me start with this that I have here. Enough and two. Enough and two. I think that I already know them. Okay. For that reason, we are going to be having this. Enough and two. Grammar. Oh my goodness, really grammar? Yes. We are finishing with these quantifiers. Remember that we have been talking during these days about quantifiers. We know. Yes, they are super important. They are super important because they are going to be using, helping us a lot during the way, during the different topics that we are going to be touching, and also in the way that we are going to be speaking. Well, What's the difference? Enough and to are going to be pretty similar words, but at the same time, they are going to be having some differences as such and so, no? And in this case, for example, maybe you're asking, but what is the difference? Because I used to use them in the same way. Well, actually, they are going to be a kind of different, because enough is going to be coming after adjectives and adverbs, but before nouns. We use it when we have sufficient and it has a positive meaning. We are talking about meanings, not only about grammar and vocabulary. Now we are starting to talk about meaning, sociolinguistics. For example, this suitcase is big enough for everything I'm taking. Big enough. Adjectives and adverbs, okay? But before nouns, excellent. Acuérdate, después de adjetivos o adverbios, pero antes de lo que son los nouns, nuestros sustantivos, cosas, personas, ¿sale? Esta va o antes o después, ¿no? And you are happy with the result. This suitcase is big enough for everything I'm taking. Hey. Too long. It is going to be a kind of different because this aspect. Too comes before adjectives and adverbs. It is not going to be after something. Too is going to be before. Enough can be before or after, depending if you're going to be having adjectives or adverbs or nouns. Too comes before the adjectives and adverbs, and we are going to be making use of too when we have more than enough, more than sufficient, and it has a negative meaning. Here is the situation. It is going to be having a negative meaning. For example, scientists have worked out that modern music is too loud. Scientists have worked out that modern music is too loud. So please don't listen to music in a super loud volume. That is going to be one of the differences that we are going to be having with it. These are your notes, miss. Well, kind of. It was from a book that I was reading, looking for enough information for you. And I said, oh my goodness, this is important and interesting. Also, it is on internet. Well, I don't care about the first one. Too and enough. We use to before adjectives and adverbs. Never after, okay? Before. To is going to be before everything that you want. And enough, well, let me finish with to. To before adjectives and adverbs, and to has a negative meaning, and it means more than necessary. More than necessary is going to be the meaning that it is going to be having. For example, oh my goodness, this coffee is hot. I can't drink it. It is more hot. Well, it is hotter than necessary. No iba a decir more hotter, no, more than hot, pero dije no, vamos a poner. It is hotter than what I want to drink. The coffee is too hot. It is hotter than what I can resist. Okay. I can't drink it because it is too hot. I'm negative. I'm not happy with that. More than necessary. But in the other hand, we are going to be having enough. That is going to be coming after adjectives and adverbs, but before nouns. Date cuenta que está al revés. El to va antes de los adjetivos y adverbios. El enough va después de los adjetivos y adverbios. Pero dice, ¿qué pasa, chavo? Yo también quiero. Y que se revela y lo ponemos antes de los nouns. Again, el to, si te das cuenta, no tengo nouns. En esto tienen mucha similaridad. El to es antes de adjetivos y adverbios. El enough es después de los adjetivos y adverbios. Pero este de pilón tiene que va antes de los nouns. ¿Ok? Sustantivos. Enough is going to be having a positive meaning. And here we have some examples. The weather is warm enough for a picnic. Hey, there's enough food in the fridge. Thanks God for the food that we have. It's enough for us. We are happy with what we have. That is one of the differences that we are going to be having between to and enough. Oh, we are going to be having this grammar wall that is going to be helping us. To and not enough. The sweatshirt is too big. The sweatshirt isn't small enough. You can be using these words. You can say it is not too big, but that's strange. It is better if you say, oh, the sweatshirt isn't small enough. We are going to be changing the meaning. Instead of saying it's not too big, we can say it's not small enough. The trousers are too small. I can't wear them. You can say, oh, the trousers aren't big enough. I can't wear them. They come together in order to create something when you are saying that no. This is an extra plus that you can be using here. The sweatshirt is too big. No, it is not. Isn't small enough. The trousers aren't too small. They aren't big enough. They are going to be the same. They are going to be having the same meaning, but with different words, with different structures. Can you see what is this? Your structures are going to be helping us a lot. It's too big or too small, the same structure. Isn't small enough, aren't big enough, the same structure, okay? You are going to be playing with it. This is the opposite. Demasiado grande. Uy, no tan pequeño. Demasiado pequeño. No tan grande. It is almost the same. You can be using this as you prefer. Remember that you can be playing with English, but it is going to be depending on what you are saying, okay? On what you are going to be saying. You cannot say it's small enough. Well, yes, you can say it if you are happy with the result. They are too small or they aren't too small. That could be possible also. Remember, your happiness is first here with this topic. So, to and enough. Let's continue talking about the differences that we are going to be having here. Remember that to is more than what it is needed. And enough, it is sufficient as much as we need. No, but to is going to be, we are going to be making use of to before an adjective. This tea is too hot. I can drink it. What we were saying a few minutes ago. Or for example, to before an adverb. Remember that an adverb is going to be telling us how the things are made. He drives too fast. It's dangerous. Ooh, that is an adverb. Or for example, you can use too much. Yes, it is. You can be using too much, not too much, so much. But with the uncountable nouns that you are going to be having, you can be using too much, but be careful because it is going to be only for the uncountable nouns. And we are going to be having here some examples for like this. This food is very sweet. It has too much sugar. Demasiado, too much. Okay, the emphasis is like it's too sweet. Well, or it has too much sugar. You are going to be making use of too much when you have an uncountable noun. You cannot say too, it has too sugar. No, too sugar, no. Unfortunately, it is going to be uncountable. That's the reason why you are going to be having too much sugar in order to complement this. But also we are going to be talking about too many, but you are going to be making use of this expression, sorry, but with the countable nouns. The class has many students. Some of them don't have desks. You can be counting all the students. You can be counting all the nouns that you are having. For that reason, you are going to be having too many because there are too many. So you cannot say the class has 2 students. No. Because in that case, you should be using enough. But remember that in this case, we are saying that we are not happy with the results. And with enough, we are happy with the results. If we were happy with the results, I could say the class has enough students. And we are happy and we are satisfied with the result. But in this case, you are not happy with the result. And for that reason, you are saying too many. The same that enough, but too many is going to be taking place because you cannot say 2 students, 2 sugar. No, never ever in your life. You are not going to be using 2 alone by itself. No. If you want to say that they are a lot, countables or uncountables, you are going to be needing your much or your many. I'm so sorry. That was 2. Now, let's talk about enough. As we were saying, enough, it's the same like sufficient, as much as we need. We are happy with what we have. And that's cool, that's great. But you know what? We are going to be having this. We are going to be having enough after an adjective. For example, he's very tall. He's tall enough to reach the top of the shelf. We are happy with that. Or also with an adverb, and enough. For example, she's a fast runner, and I am too. I'm fast enough to run with her. Soy lo suficientemente rápida para jugar con ella. Or the other one, enough, a noun. He has enough money to buy a new toy. He has enough money to buy a new toy. It is something positive that we are going to be happy. He or she is happy with the result. Before a noun. That is the before a noun. What do you think? Is it easy or difficult? It is not too difficult, right? But the situation is that we need to be practicing for a little while. But don't worry, because we can be doing it. Actually, we are going to be practicing with this, okay? But now, let's continue talking about this. True and enough. is that possible to have this? Yes, 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 yes. And don't worry, okay? So here we go. Let me show you this. Let's continue here. Excellent. Two and enough is super nice. I love this topic, really. Two, the same that I was telling you, but with more examples, no? Two, we use two to mean more than enough, more than sufficient, or less, more or less than necessary. Adjectives. It's too late to stop him. Jerry was too young to watch the movie. Negative meaning. That is good. My headphones. Negative meanings. You can be using too many, too much also when you are going to be talking about countables and uncountable nouns, as we were saying. There are too many people in this train. There's nowhere to sit. Oh, too many. You can be counting them, but with a negative sense. Sales lo que quiero que negative sense. Too much. We're uncountables. You have too much money. Give some to me. It's like a negative. They can, oh, come on, Godo, dame something. Give me something. With negative meaning, okay? If you want to be happy and having a positive meaning, you need to use enough. But that will mean that you are happy or that you feel comfortable with what you have. Okay, you have eaten too many of those cakes. Too many. You were eating a lot. And also we are going to be having this situation, a verb plus too much. For example, he complains too much. I love you too much. Well, that could be better if we say so much. He has such a negative attitude. He complains too much. He has such a negative attitude. Really? That is true. And we are going to be making use of enough with this, as we were saying, that means that you have sufficient. You are happy. You are great. That's cool. And you are going to be having this. Remember, the adjective is going to be before, no? Your clothes are big enough to fit me. If we have a verb, we can be using enough. You have done enough work. You can stop now. Oh, that's enough. That's sufficient. Or enough plus countables and uncountables. Is it possible? Yes, it is. It is possible. But remember that you are happy with what you have, okay? That's going to be the intrinsic meaning that we are going to be having in these two words. Have you got enough money to buy me a drink? That is how we are going to be making use of. No. Let me tell you that also we use enough in negative sentences. If it is necessary. If it is necessary, for example, you are not working fast enough. You won't finish on time. Or sorry, I haven't got enough food for everyone. Oh, not enough of my friends are coming to the party. Can you see the difference with enough and too? We could not say not too much friends are coming to the party because you are mentioning that they are not enough. That you are not happy with the results. But in some special cases like this, enough is going to be super duper useful here, saying that no. Excellent. Let's come here. Okay. Enough means that there is no need for more, for much of something. And here you have the other examples. The coffee is too sweet for me. Don't put so much sugar on it. I don't feel well. I ate too much food last night. The radio is too loud. Please turn it down. Pero I know this enough, ya sé, estamos cruzando información. Aquí está lo de enough. The coffee is very sweet. Enough for me. You put just enough sugar. École. Compárate esta y compárate esta. ¿Cuál es el significado? The coffee is too sweet for me. Don't put so much sugar in it. It is a negative meaning. And here, the coffee is sweet enough for me. You put just enough sugar in it. It has a positive meaning. It's like, yes, I like it, don't worry. Also, I don't feel well. I ate too much soda last night. What could it be? I'm hungry. I didn't eat enough food. Suficiente, demasiada y suficiente. Suficiente, demasiado. The radio is too loud. Please turn it down. La radio está demasiada alta. Apágala, por favor. Oh, the radio is loud enough for everyone to hear. Es suficiente para que todos nosotros podamos verlo. That is not enough. One more time. What do you think? Easy or difficult? It is cool, right? Enough. Enough and so. Excellent. But we are going to continue with this. Is this going to be super easy? Yes, no problem with this. Because we are going to be practicing in this moment. Yes. Practice, practice, practice. Practice, practice, practice. Yes, we are going to be practicing. Very good. But till this moment, any question, any situation, remember, we can be helping you with this. Well, let me show you this that I have here for you in this moment. Let's continue with this. Okay. This is going to be like your summary box. My help for you in Spanish. In that way, you can say, it was not so difficult. We are going to be using to antes del adjetivo. Cars are too expensive. Enough is going to be used after the adjectives. Cars aren't cheap enough. Too for somebody or something is too expensive for me. Enough. I have got enough money to buy a house. Here you have another difference. That for is going to be with two, and two is going to be for enough. You cannot say it's too expensive to buy me to. No, that sounds silly and cuckoo. And I cannot say I've got enough money for buy. No, we are going to be having this. 4 is for two is for enough. Remember that the meaning can be changed depending if we say no or if we say yes. Lo que siempre te digo, lo importante es entender la estructura, elaborar bien la estructura, entender bien la estructura. Juega, practica, imagina, usa el inglés, de verdad, no pasa nada. Sale, mientras no le pongas el enough hasta el finalísimo y antes hay 5 verbos o algo así, puedes hacer muchísimas cosas, ¿sale? Mientras sigas la reglita y dices, pero ¿puedo poner todo esto? Puedes. Y si tienes dudas, mándamelo y te lo checamos con todo gusto, ¿sale? Pero bueno, and what could it be the difference between a very, too, or enough? Well, here we are going to be talking about it. De una vez, que pegue, que pegue. Very plus your adjectives or to plus your adjective. Very has a positive or a negative meaning. And to has only a negative meaning. The coffee is very hot, but I can drink it. Hot, but possible to do it. The coffee is too hot. I can't drink it. It is not possible to drink it, okay? With very, you are going to be having a possibility. With to, you are not going to be having a possibility, okay? To plus your adjectives for someone. The coffee is too hot to drink. I'm too short to play basketball. The coffee is too hot for me to drink. It is too cold for us to swim. Can you see the difference how we are going to be making use of very, too, and enough? Remember, plus adjectives plus someone. Now, if you are going to be making use of it's not enough, we are going to be having this. The coffee is hot enough to drink. I mean, for me, it's super great. I can drink it. It's on the point. Está en su punto. No está ni caliente ni fresco lo suficiente. Soy feliz. Órale. He is strong enough to climb the wall. Es lo suficientemente fuerte para escalar la montaña. It's enough with that. It's correct. Or it is cheap enough to buy it. I mean, I can afford it. Or it is good enough for me. That's cool. That's great. I'm happy with what you have or with what we have. Or for example, I don't have enough money to buy it. We don't have enough time. Oh, that is going to be used with the infinitive. And we are going to be comparing here. She's very young. She's too young to drive. She's not old enough to drive. They are going to be having similar meanings. Very young, too young, old enough. Ok, but acuérdate, el very y el to antes del adjetivos. Aquí, el very y el old enough. Acuérdate que el very va antes, el to va antes y el enough va después del adjetivo, ¿sale? Porque si me preguntan, no puedo poner el very en lugar de enough, dependiendo de dónde vayas a poner la palabra, chavo, chava, ahí es donde decidimos. That is going to be the difference between very, to, and enough. The way in which you are going to be making use of them. That is the difference. Ya sabía yo, what is the difference between very? Ah, that is going to be the situation. Excellent. But, okay, if you have some questions here, please let me know and I'm going to be helping. Bueno, let's continue with this that I have here. Excellent, 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 excellent. Bueno, remember to, enough, and so on. Bueno, here we go. Let's continue with this. Very, to, and enough. How we are going to be making use of them. And also, let's start practicing with this that I have here for you. To, enough, what? You let me know. To. It's cool to take dogs for a walk. It's cool to take dogs for a walk. What could it be that? Let's see. Correct. It's too cold before the adjective. To take dogs for a walk. That's cool. It's too hot or enough hot to go running. I don't know. Correct. It's too hot to go running. That's cool. It's not warm to take dogs for a walk. True or enough? Correct. It's not warm enough to take dogs for a walk. I'm young to drive a car? Too young or enough young? I'm too young to drive a car. Excellent. This garage is not big to keep so many things. Too or enough? What do you think? Enough. We cannot say this garage is not big to keep so many things. No. I'm not old to drive a car. I'm not old to drive a car, or enough. Old enough. Car. I'm not old enough to drive a car. Cool. Help. This parcel is too heavy or enough heavy? Correct. Too heavy to do certain things. This pond is not deep to dive from here. Deep enough to dive from here. That's cool. These sleeves are long for me. Too long for me. Excellent. Help. I'm not strong, I don't know, to lift this parcel. What could it be? Help, I'm not strong enough to lift this parcel. We cannot say, help, I'm not strong to lift this parcel. No, never ever. This guitar is small for me. Too small or enough small for me? Too small for me. The cookies are too high or enough high? Depending the meaning that you want to be having. Well, the cookies are too high. Excellent. The music is loud here. I don't like it. Too loud here. That's cool. Next, I don't have time to finish my exam. Enough time to finish my exam. That's cool. My mouth is big, isn't it? Enough big or too big? What do you think? My mouth is too big, isn't it? There's not ice cream for the children. Too ice cream or enough ice cream? Enough ice cream. Correct. Excellent. Now, I don't have money to buy this motorbike. What could it be? Too or enough? Enough money to buy this motorbike. He's not tall to reach the cookies. What do you think? To what? It's not tall enough to reach the case. Excellent. And it's not quiet. Here to sleep well. What could it be? It's not quiet enough.
Correct.
Here to sleep well. Good. This book is not interesting for him. Enough. Before, after. Excellent. Cool. Congrats for you. Tell me, what about the exercise? Was it easy? Was it difficult? What was it? What was it? It was kind of, right? It was a kind of. That's cool. That's cool. Well, let's continue with the last part that is going to be super duper useful. ¿Me va a servir? Sí, sí te va a servir, chavalot. Because it is going to be like a general review. But well, let's continue with this. Chaka, cha, chaka, cha, cha. Almost done, almost done. You can do it. You can do it. Excellent. That was two, enough, and also very. Now, this is going to be super duper easy. What's wrong? I'm not happy. Oh, you don't have to be happy. Really? That's great. Ah, yes, but what is the topic? You know what? We are going to be having this short review about this. You don't have? No, you don't have. I really? Yes. We are going to be talking about have to. Remember that have to is for obligation. How to express obligation? Well, you are going to be having use or have to or has to. And here you have some examples. No, I have to do my homework. I has to clean wash the dishes. Why do I have to make my bed? It is also a book that you are going to be having. We are not going to be talking about this verb, okay? I have a ball, she has a balloon. Yes, indeed, it is going to be the same verb, but the meaning is going to be a kind of different because here we are talking about positions and we want to be talking about obligations. Excellent. And I think that you remember how we are going to be making use of this. I have to. I don't have to. He has to. She doesn't have to. Has and doesn't have. Yes, because remember that doesn't is the auxiliary and your verb have is going to be here again. Okay, we are going to be making use of has only with the third persons, but in affirmative. Yo tengo que, tú tienes que, ella, él, eso, tienen que hacer algo. We are talking about obligations. Uy, I have to wear a uniform. Tengo que usar mi uniforme. I don't have to wear a uniform. No tengo que usar el uniforme. I really, exactly. She has to wear a uniform. Tiene que usar el uniforme. No, come on, relax. She doesn't have to wear the uniform. It is not necessary. No es necesario. Oh, that is going to be one of the differences that we are going to be having. Okay, she doesn't have, she has to. How we are going to be making use of this? Well, this is the situation. Ooh. Affirmative. We are speaking or talking in present tense, okay? Has to, have to. Shayla has to see her doctor. She looks sick. It's her obligation. She has to do it. Oh, we have to perform our job well. That is your obligation. We, they, you have to do it. In past, we are going to be having the same, but instead of saying has or have, we are going to be having had. She had to, they had to, had. The verb in past is going to be had. I had to go to the office, but I was sick. Yo tenía que ir a la oficina, pero me enfermé. Oh, my obligation in present and in past. If I want to say that it is not my obligation, it is not your obligation, it is not our obligation, we are going to be having this. It doesn't have to be that way. Tim doesn't have to pay for the damages. No tiene que ser de esa manera. Tim no tiene que pagar por los daños. Oopsie. It is not necessary. In past, it didn't have to be that way. Tim didn't have to pay for the damages. Here is how we are going to be making use of this in past. This is just a general review, okay? A general, like it's something general. And if you want to ask for obligations, we are going to be having here this, your auxiliary at the beginning, and then you have to, has to. Does she have? Oye, ya no va a ser has, no, because remember that you are having here your does. Does she have to come here? Did they have to eat the food in the table? Affirmative and negative questions. Is it possible? Indeed, is that it is possible. You can be having positive or negative questions. Affirmative or negative questions. Affirmative, negative questions. Yes, because we are talking about questions. And also you can be making use of some questions words, but your question word do the as and your complement. What do they have to do to win the game? Ooh, when does she have to meet the new boss? Ooh, that is have to, has to, present in past, affirmative, negative, and for questions. So let's check. Have to, exactly when we are going to be having have to. When we are going to be talking in affirmative or in a negative way, obligaciones, a fuercitas, por leyes, por reglas del trabajo, alguien más poderoso que nosotros lo dice, lo implementa. You have to wear uniform and this is cool. No lo digo yo, lo dice el reglamento. Ah, when you want to say that no, it is something that is not your obligation and it is not necessary. Aquí cambia. El have to, cuando estás diciendo que sí es de que a fuerzas lo tienes a hacer porque el reglamento, la ley, la constitución, el presidente, el doctor, tu mamá, tu papá, bueno, tiene autoridad para demandarte algo. O sea, es una obligación que viene impuesta desde afuera por alguien más poderoso, un documento, una cuestión, un departamento más poderoso que nosotros, ¿no? And when you are saying that no, cuando tú estás diciendo que no, aquí la situación cambia. ¿Sale? Algo no obligatorio o no necesario. You don't have to go to the party. It is not necessary. If you want to do it, cool. If you don't want to do it, cool. It's up to you. Aquí ya es más relajado. Ay, no es obligatorio. No tienes que hacerlo. You don't have to wear the uniform if you don't want to. En una de las afirmaciones es bien importante que lo cumplas. En la negación es así como que, ay, don't worry, no te me preocupes. And here you have these examples. I have to play basketball in this campus. Why? Because I am studying on this campus and that is the law, no? My principal is telling me that. You have to read books in the university. I don't say it. Your teachers say it. He has to phone his wife every day. He doesn't say it. His wife says so. She has to swim in the pool for 2 hours. She doesn't say so. The trainer says so. It has to jump over the shed for 1 biscuit. Oh, it works in the circus. Oh my goodness, the trainer is giving that order. We have to play our instrument for hours. We don't say it. The musical institutions is asking us that. If we want to study here, we need to be playing our instrument for at least 4 or 5 hours. My obligation, and that obligation comes from a law or someone else that is higher. You have to study your lesson every day. Who says so? Your teacher, the principal, okay. They have to write emails to their customers. Who says so? Your boss. Oops, sorry. In that case, I think that I'm going to be doing it. That is the situation that we are going to be having. If you want to say that no, we are going to be having this. My sisters, my boyfriends, my cousins don't have to wear a uniform at work. Oh, my sister has to pay the rent for this month. It is her obligation. Oh, don't worry. No, my sister doesn't have to pay the rent for this month. She has already paid the last month. Okay, that's cool. The sense is going to be changing. The sense of this is going to be changing a lot. ¿No sabes cómo va a cambiar el sentido justamente aquí? Oh, my brother has to clean the house. Oh no, my brother doesn't have to clean the house. I will do it. Don't worry. That is an example. Something affirmative is for a lot of obligation, a huge obligation, and doesn't have or don't have. It is like if you want to do it, if you don't want. Now, that's the reason why I was thinking about hasn't. If you use haven't or hasn't, you are not speaking in present simple. You are going to be talking in present perfect, okay? And it is going to be different. If you say, I haven't, she hasn't, well, you are mixing some tenses that are going to be a kind of strange. We can be having haven't and hasn't, but yes, depending what you want to be talking about or saying. This is how we are going to be saying that though. I don't have to or don't. She does not have to or doesn't have to study. We don't have to study. We do not have to study. They don't have to study. They do not have to study. Remember that we are speaking or talking in present simple. We can be using this about obligations in present simple or in past simple, okay? The same structure for present simple and past simple. We are going to be making use of do, doesn't, did, also. Please don't get confused with has, have, hasn't, haven't. That's the reason why we are reviewing this one. And also here you have some examples about this. Have to, don't have to. Remember, have to or has to is going to be used when something you need to do following a rule. Okay, and don't have or doesn't have, you are going to be using this structure when something which is not with something that is not necessary. I hear you have these examples. You have to go to school, is your obligation. They have to clean the house, it's their obligation. He has to see the doctor, it is his obligation. You have to drive slower than 110 kilometers per hour on highways. That is your obligation. What have you to say for yourself? For questions, yes, indeed. You have to wear uniform in class, your obligation. My brother has to drink milk before going to bed. Habla an obligation, something that she has to do because she's following a rule that somebody else said. But if you don't have, if you are going to be talking about that, it is not your obligation. You are going to be having this. Oh, you don't have to come to school on Sundays. We don't have to watch this movie. She doesn't have to learn your language. It is not her obligation. They don't have to wear a suit. Where? Al revés. He doesn't have to take the exam. It is not his obligation. Oh, you didn't have to work for a salary. It's not your obligation. If you want to do it, cool. If not, it is not necessary. It is not necessary. No es que no sea solamente tu obligación, sino que aparte no es muy necesario. We don't have to buy an egg. My goodness. Really? What do you think about this? Easy or difficult? It is not so difficult, right? This is just a general review, but tomorrow we are going to continue with that. Please, sweethearts, let me know if you have any question, any situation, and I'm going to be helping you. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I will see you soon. See you.